What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to try to predict all of the deaths in the right order for Scream 6. I did this with Scream 5, and I was shockingly very, very close. I think one of the only ones I got wrong was Chad. I got the order right, but I got that Chad died, and obviously he did not die. So I'm going to try it again. This movie, in my opinion, is much harder to predict, not only with the order, but also who lives and dies. There's a lot of, in my opinion, coin flips. So I'm going to go off on a limb, see if I'm right. If I'm wrong, honestly, I'd be very glad about that. I'd be very happy. I was right too much with 5, and I actually want to be wrong because that way I will be surprised when the movie happens. All right, so let's go through. The first death, I do believe, is going to be Laura, which is Samara Weaving's character. I think she's the opening. I think the reasons are pretty darn clear at this point. I think she's very safe. I don't think anybody's going to get that wrong if you predict she is the opening. She's got all the hallmarks, as an actress, Samara does, of being the opening. Every time we've seen her, she's only in the same outfit. These kind of alleyway things, right? I do think she's going to be the first one. Now, I do believe Tony Revolori's character is going to be the second one, but I would honestly argue immediately after Laura, immediately after Samara is gone, I think it gets kind of wild because I don't think it's a for sure thing that somebody like Tony Revolori's character is next, but I'm going to say it is going to be him. I don't necessarily know how it's going to happen. We really only have 2 scenes with him, right? One where he's picking up the phone, so he does get a call. I mean, you imagine, it doesn't have to, I guess, be by Ghostface, but he does get a call, and then we do see him dead in a tub. Now, the question is that a fake out death or not? There's also the belief, conspiracy-wise maybe, that that's not actually him. The mustache does look a little bit off. I can see it. Ultimately, it's up for you guys to debate it in the comments, which I will not be looking at because I don't want spoilers, but those are some of the things that we've seen so far. So next up, him, and I think he's out. Again, this is where it's going to get a little choppy. I feel like Quinn, which is Liana Liberado's character, I think she would be next up. Now, I'm a little confused with timing because you got Dermot Mulroney's character, right? Detective Bailey. I actually believe he's Ghostface. So this is where things can quickly fall apart for my predictions. I believe he's Ghostface along with Ethan, who's Jack Champion's character. Now, if the dad of Quinn is Ghostface, could Quinn actually die? I do believe she dies. Is it possible she's a fake out death? Yes, maybe she's Ghostface. Because if I'm wrong and the Ghostface killers are Detective Bailey and his daughter, well, then quickly all these predictions fall apart, but I guess that's the fun of doing it. So I'm going to say Quinn is next up in that order. This would probably be a good time, by the way, to say Henry Czerny's character, which we do believe to be kind of like a therapist of Sam in some way. I've always been on the fence about him. I'm actually going to predict he doesn't die. There was a long period of time where I actually thought he could be Ghostface. He could be like a Debbie Salt, and I guess he still can be. I, again, will go off on a limb and say maybe he really is an inconsequential. Maybe he's kind of like a red herring, but I don't think he really is going to have much of an impact on the movie itself. Now, next up, I'm going to say is Anika for a couple different reasons. Number one, if we go based off of my order so far, we've eliminated all of them. We're kind of starting to, dwindle down in numbers. Number two, there's only so many people in the movie, the trailers, the TV spots that we've seen. You can kind of put it together in some sort of order, and it does seem like Anika makes it further than others, let's just say. Ethan makes it further than others. Danny makes it further than others, right? I think we all can know that. But when it really starts to get down to the core group, it's the core 4, the ones that made it from 5 to 6. It's also Danny, and it's also Ethan. We've seen a couple different scenes where it's that group, no Anika. So why? Well, I think it's because Anika dies. I think it's during that ladder sequence. Okay, so now we're left with everybody else. Let's go through some characters that I think are going to live. I think Gail is actually going to live. My prediction, my long-standing prediction that I will nail in stone for this video is that she gets injured in her apartment chase scene with Ghostface. So that happens, she survives it, but she gets injured enough where she doesn't make it to the final act, the shrine/theater, okay? And by, again, not making it, when I say that, all I mean is she's not part of those sequences of events. She's maybe in the hospital, whatever it ends up being, but she survives it. She's just not going to be a part of that. Mindy is very confusing to me because I will say she lives. The reason I say she lives is I think the injury on the ladder thing is going to maybe put her out of commission going forward. However, it being very likely, if not like for sure, that subway stuff is actually towards the end, well, then Mindy's fine. So Mindy gets attacked with the ladder. She's got the cut on her arm, and then she makes it to the train. This is a coin flip because I can see her being injured exactly like Gail, where she doesn't make it to the shrine. In fact, I will declare that as a full-on final prediction. Mindy will not be in the final sequences of events. Okay, I fully believe that. Why? Is it because she dies in the train sequence, or is it because maybe she gets injured in the train sequence and she has to kind of be taken out, where again, she's not going to make it to the shrine like Gail? That's the one that I'm going to predict. I'm going to predict that she gets, injured, but she does not die. She will make it. Okay, so we're only left with a couple now. I think Kirby, let's go over another person that makes it. Kirby, I do think, is going to live. I'm going to actually throw that out there. I really believe Kirby's going to make it. We see her in the ending sorts, right, where we see she is in the shrine. She has like an injury. Maybe she was like knocked out or something. So I do think she makes it. Well, obviously she makes it to the final act. Now, she may not be part of like the one-on-one, two-on-two battle with Ghostface or Ghostface is at the end, but I do think she'll make it, and I think she'll survive. So I'm going to say Kirby will live. Danny's tough. Danny, of course, is a coin flip of Ghostface versus not Ghostface, but I'm going to say Danny is going to be some sort of sacrificial role that Derek was in Scream 2. Not the same way, but Danny may go protecting Sam or Tara. Maybe he dies because he protects Mindy in the subway, right? So maybe she gets injured, he dies. Either way, again, if he's not Ghostface, well, then we don't see him in that shrine thing at the end, so I don't think he makes it. So if we are going in order here, I think after Anika goes, Danny would actually be the next one. So at the shrine for the final act, we'd have Sam, Tara, Chad, 2 Ghostface killers in Detective Bailey and Ethan, and Kirby. Now, I said Kirby lives, so we're going to kind of exclude her. So we have those 5. Who of those 5 are going to get it? So the 2 Ghostface killers, I do think are going to get it, but they would be at the end. I will say Chad goes. The reason I say Chad goes is because of what we've kind of heard from his character. He's the heart of this movie. How do you hurt us as an audience, I guess, the most with somebody like that is you take him out. Now, honestly, I kind of would prefer, if what we're hearing is true, maybe if I resonate with Chad as much as people that saw the movie early, I actually would maybe prefer Mindy goes. And again, I do think it's a coin flip of Mindy living or dying. But I'm going to say of that group, Chad is going to go, which puts us at those final 3, Sam, Tara, and Mindy. Those would be the final people, the core 4 that was once a core 4, now a core 3 going into Scream 7. I do think for sure Sam lives, and I'm pretty sure Tara lives. Tara could be a coin flip. I could see the impact. I could see the reasoning of wanting to kill her off. It would be gigantic, maybe for good reasons, maybe for bad reasons. I know some people are pretty passionate that she dies. Some people think she lives. I've been very conflicted. She's the hardest one, I would say, to nail down. I'm going to say she lives. That's what I feel in my gut. That's what I felt in my gut for the longest time. There was maybe a stretch of like a week or so where I thought maybe she could die. I got to go with my gut that she's going to live. And I do assume one of those 2 die in 7. I don't think you leave 7. I know that's kind of jumping the gun, but I don't think you leave 7 with Sam and Tara. Okay, so one more time going through the order of the deaths. We have Laura, Samara Weaving, first one to die. Jason, who's Tony Revolori, next one. Quinn, who's Liana Liberato, she'd be next. Anika would be next at the ladder. Danny, either in the subway or right before the shrine or at the shrine. Then Chad, and Chad would be at the shrine/theater. He would be like a defending kind of role. And then you'd have the final one-on-one, 2v2, whatever it is. And you have both the Ghostface killers dying in Detective Bailey and as well as Ethan. So then you would have Sam, Tara, Mindy, Gail, and Kirby, quite literally your final girls, all girls plural, as the last remaining survivors of this film. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let's see how many I get right. Again, I don't necessarily want to be right. Some of these coin flips, if they go the other way, if Chad lives, Mindy dies, if Tara dies, these would be pretty gigantic things that would disrupt my list. I don't know how happy I'd be about it. It would depend on the quality, but there you go. Let me know what you think. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.